Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to come in this evening for tonight's presentation. In tonight's presentation, I am going to talk about chores. Now, I know we all remember doing chores, and we know that having kids help with chores around the house makes getting everything done easier, but chores actually aid in children's development. Tonight, I will show you what research says about children participating in household chores, show you how chores influence development, and the benefits of involving your child in the family responsibilities. Now, this isn't going to be me standing up at the front of the class and lecturing you all. Tonight will be interactive. It will also include discussion with other parents, activities, and thinking about how you can adapt some of these ideas to your own daily routines. Use your handouts as we go through these slides and activities tonight so you don't feel like you have to write down everything I say. At the end of the presentation, I will open it up for questions and I will have other resources for you to take home. Think for a minute on when you first remember doing chores as a child. How old were you? Current research shows that introducing chores to your child as early as age 3 can teach skills that will benefit them into adulthood. Some of these skills include problem solving, sequencing steps to activities, a sense of responsibility, and more. Now, I know you might be thinking that it seems far-fetched to ask your 3-year-old to do chores. However, research shows that if you wait until your child is over, this could result in your child not wanting to help family with chores. Why is this important? As I've said, participating in chores teaches your child responsibility, problem solving, independent living skills. All of these skills can be taken with them into adulthood. Chores also instill a sense of belonging and purpose in daily family routines. Let's take a minute and think about different chores you did around the house growing up. Talk to those sitting around you. Would you let your own child do any of these chores? Are there any chores you were responsible for that you don't think your child would be able to handle? What would you have to provide as modifications or changes to the chores? Are any chores you completed not relevant to your daily routine anymore? Keep these things in mind as we keep going. Now, I've told you that chores are great for kids as early as age 3, but now you probably want some more information on how to motivate your children to participate in chores around the house. Getting your child to do a chore might sound like a daunting task, but by starting small and breaking the chore down into smaller pieces, you can have success. To think about this a little more realistically, let's have 2 volunteers come to the front. Thank you for volunteering. Okay, Parent A, you will be the parent, and Parent B, you will be the child. Here is your scenario. The child has their Legos and cars all over the floor. The adult wants the child to clean up their toys. How would you motivate your child to participate in cleaning up? Please act out the dialogue for the parents. Thank you, volunteers. This, of course, is an example where everything goes perfectly. Your child might not be so willing to pick up their toys immediately. You may have to talk to them more about why this is important. For example, safety. Picking up toys means we won't trip on them later. When asking them to pick up their toys or complete any other chore, it helps to break the task down so your child isn't overwhelmed by what you're asking them to do. Give instructions one step at a time and encourage and praise them for participating appropriately. Resist the urge to just do the chore for your child. It might take them longer than you want, and it might even just seem easier in the moment to just get it done. Just remember, in the long run, your child will benefit from you letting them do it themselves. What if your child isn't responsive? Make the chore fun. See how many toys your child can pick up in 30 seconds. Play music and dance around with your child as they make their bed. Find something that is super motivating for them and use it as a reward. We're going to talk a little bit more about ways to motivate your child to participate in these chores later on. Now, let's talk about picking chores for your child to do. How do you decide what kind of chore is appropriate for your child? Obviously, we can't expect 3-year-olds to do the same thing that we ask a 7-year-old to do, and they can't even do the same thing we would ask tween or teen to do. Start small with children who are ages 2 to 3. Provide help and lots of encouragement. Let chores focus on the messes they make on their own. Toys on the floor, spills at the table, picking up dirty clothes. As your child ages, gradually add more complexity and responsibility. Build in more general household activities and activities that require more strength and coordination. Remember to be realistic. You can't expect your 2-year-old to unload the dishwasher. However, this is something you can ask your 10-year-old to do with supervision. The chart I have here on the slide is in your materials, but keep in mind it isn't the ultimate resource. All children are different and will be successful with different things. Modify things as you need to, and remember to set your child up for success. That being said, let's take a little bit of a closer look at this chart. One of the expectations for a 2 to 3-year-old is to make their bed. How could you introduce this to your child? Could this chore be adapted or changed as your child ages to continue to provide age-appropriate challenges and successes? Take the next 2 minutes to turn to your neighbors and discuss. Would anyone like to share their ideas? Thank you for sharing. These are great ideas. Remember, what works for one family may not work for another. Adapt these expectations for your child and for your family. One way to motivate participation in chores is by having a chore chart. Why is having a chore chart important? Setting up a reward system has been shown to encourage a child to learn new behavior, and they are more likely to do what is asked, even if it's something they don't want to, if there's a reward offered. Having a visual aid like a chore chart helps establish clear expectations and goals, which will in turn encourage the child to do their chore because they understand what is expected of them in order to get their reward. Why should I reward my child? Giving your child a reward for completing their chores shows that you appreciate what they're doing. Now, I'm not saying you need to provide a monetary reward, especially when they're younger, or even a fancy new toy each time they clean up after themselves. Rewards can be simple, as a sticker for their chart, a preferred activity, or getting to choose something to do as a family. Rewards should be fun and motivating so that the children want to participate in what you are asking them. When should you stop using a chore chart? As your child ages and takes on more responsibility, you can slowly start to fade out the chore chart. They will learn to complete chore activities without the visual aid. However, rewards are still important. As a child ages, an allowance or a larger, more motivating rewards may become more appropriate. Every family is different, and you have to find what works best for them. Remember, above all, praise your child. Thank them for participating in the family responsibilities. The materials I provided you with include some generic chore chart examples and reward system ideas. There are a multitude of resources available online as well. You can take these ideas and adapt them for your family. Okay, I have presented a lot of positives so far, but there will likely come a time when you will ask your child to complete their chore and they will refuse. Pouting, whining, crying, screaming are straight refusals to participate. Instead of yelling or getting frustrated, do your best to remain calm as you respond to your child. Provide age-appropriate explanations of why you're asking them to complete the chore and the reward for completing what has been asked. For example, I know you'd rather be playing with your toys but the dishes need to be emptied so we have clean forks for dinner. Please go empty the dishwasher. Wait a minute and then repeat your request. Please go empty the dishwasher. If they respond, I will in a minute, let them know you're setting a timer for a minute and that your expectation is that when the timer goes off, that they get up and do their chore. If your child is younger and says no, offer to help them start their chore. Initiation is hard for many younger children, and by helping them, they will most likely complete their chore with you. If none of these options are working, re-examine your child's reward. Maybe the 30 extra minutes of screen time isn't appealing to them anymore. Talk to your child and see what they would like as their reward. Now, your child shouldn't be able to dictate their rewards. Accept their requests within reason, because while rewards are important, you shouldn't allow the child to get everything and anything they want, especially if they have already failed to complete what you've asked of them. Let's write down some ideas on the board. What would you say to the child who doesn't want to do their chore? What rewards might be motivating? What chores might be the hardest to convince your child to participate in? So I've talked about how chores teach your children important skills that will be carried with them into adulthood, including a sense of responsibility, problem-solving skills, and independent living skills, just to name a few. But what else are chores going to do for your children? Chores help children understand that everything won't be handed to them. They have to work for and earn things that they want. As parents, it is often easier just to do things for our children, but there will come a time when they have to do it on their own. Give them the opportunity to learn these skills when it's okay to mess up and not do it right the first time. Chores also help children appreciate everything that adults do for them in their daily routines. As children age, they learn skills that they have taken for granted as something their parent has always done for them. They may not enjoy it in the moment, but it is important. Children gain life skills by doing chores, skills they will be able to take with them into adulthood. When you have an expectation for your child to complete their assigned chore, they are learning accountability. When they are asked to do something and they follow through, it teaches them that it's important to follow through on their commitments, even when it isn't something they love to do. This sense of accountability will carry over into other aspects of their life: friends, schoolwork, work, relationships, and more. Chores also teach children independence. You don't ever grow out of having to do chores. There will always be a residence to keep clean, errands to be run, and things to do. Understanding what is required and mastering these skills will help give your child independence and the ability to do things for themselves when you aren't able to do it for them. Participating in chores allows your child to feel like they are contributing as a member of the family. Rules and routines are so important to facilitating a sense of self and helping children establish what they perceive as a job in the family. When your child is successful in doing their chores, they will feel a sense of pride in their work. They will have an understanding that they have helped their family and made a difference while at the same time working to earn the reward. Thank you so much for coming in and participating tonight. Please take as many of the materials that I have available tonight. I've included some references for you to draw from in your need, or if you need or want any additional information. At this time, if you have any questions, I would love to answer them for you. Thank you for your questions. If I didn't get to you or you get home and you think of more questions, please feel free to email me. My contact info is included with the materials that I provided for you. Thank you for coming.